Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I'm out here today to clean up some storm damage, and in this case, it's this electric pole for the lights at this baseball field. I'm guessing the first comment that I'm going to get is that I shouldn't be messing with this, but this field's privately owned, and there's no money to deal with an issue like this. These lights are not going to be replaced, and somebody has to deal with it. So I'm out here because I've managed this field in the past. Even though I've passed it on to the next group now, I'd like to help out. The electric company came out, they shut the power off, and the next logical thing would be for us to hire an electrical contractor to come out here and deal with this, but the field has no money or no budget. But we'd still like to be able to put games on here next year for kids in this age group. So I'm gonna do the best I can to get this cleaned up. I guess step one, I'll just walk you down it and kind of show you what we're dealing with. The lights for this ball field are probably 50 or 60 years old, and I've noticed over the last few years several of them are leaning, and I knew this was eventually going to be a problem. The wire on the right side runs from the lights that are still standing down to this pole, and then this wire to the left of me runs to our equipment shed, and that's still tied off to the bottom of the pole. Then obviously there are all these metal pieces that are screwed into the pole. I guess they're for climbing. You can see there it broke in a couple of places when it hit the ground, but it still has all this rigging on it that will have to be removed before I can get it out. And then the lights themselves actually shattered, and there's some broken glass that's going to have to be cleaned up. Obviously I wouldn't be out here if I didn't know the power was off. So I just measured. This pole's 75 feet long. It's about 15-16 inch diameter down at the end, and it just rotted out at the bottom and snapped off. I think I could pick up a piece of this, 15 or 20 foot long. I lifted the end a little bit just to see, but my dump trailer's here and it's only 12 foot long, and so it's not a tight fit. I'm just gonna try to chunk this into pieces about 10 foot long. And first thing I wanna do is just get the cable off from down at this end, and then start taking that end that has less on it and work my way up to the head of the problem, and then see what I can do to disconnect it on this end. One thing I forgot to mention is that the wiring coming off of this light pole ran to another pole on the corner, and it broke that one off maybe 20-25 foot up in the air. So there's a half pole over here on the ground that needs to be dealt with as well. So I think that one will be easy to just get the wiring off of it and put it in with the rest. But then that remaining pole is jagged and sticking up in the air. I'll probably cut that off around the same height as the fence, maybe a little bit above the fence, and get that out of here too. I just came to take a look at the second pole that's only broke off halfway, and down at the base it's almost split in half, and that split kind of splinters out to the side, and it's about ready to fall. I'm wondering if I can just push it over that way with the tractor. I'm gonna try that before anything else. Well, that came down the way I wanted it to. You can see we got the ball field fence here, and this fence here that's private property, and I had about a 10-foot alley to get it down in. Worked out just right. I'll go ahead and pull it out. All right, so I got distracted wanting to get that other pole down. Now we'll get back to what I said I was gonna do, which is getting this one disconnected from the power line to this strap. I thought that might be under tension, but it wasn't. Now I'm gonna mark off some runs at about 9 to 10 feet and start cutting. there was never a scenario where I could completely get all of this out of here because I don't have a way to disconnect the electrical off of that remaining pole. But what I'd like to accomplish is get everything heavy out of here so that if we do have to hire a company to come in and complete the disconnection of the electrical, it should be a lot cheaper if they don't have to bring any kind of equipment to remove these poles. And that's mainly what I'm trying to do here, is save as much money as we can on hiring someone to deal with this. I didn't know how this all attached. It's actually pretty simple, and these probably got loose over time as the pole rotted, but it's just a nut and a square washer that everything bolts on with. Alright, then we got some staples here. We bust these staples off, I can take another section of the pole out. Sometimes with something like this, when there's no budget, if you find a few different people who will each just do the part they know how to do, you know, maybe we can find a way to get the whole thing done without spending a fortune on it. All I have left of the pole is the top that fell off down there of the other pole. And take one nut off there and I can knock that all loose, load that last pole up, and then I've got to make some phone calls and see what everyone thinks we need to do now. But I feel good to have at least made some progress. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put a couple more of our videos on the screen, and I'll see you next time.